Hello and welcome to WOLV Overtime. Alex Prasad, Denny Blount, and Peter Saul here this week talking about a Michigan sweep. And Peter, you were very critical of the way I ended last episode, but it came true.
What?
I said we were hoping for a Michigan sweep. Hopefully next week we'll be talking about a Michigan sweep.
It's because that's your varsity blue sign off. That's why I don't like it.
Right.
And you have poison in the Michigan football program, so stay away from Michigan hockey.
This is true, but I think
we were able to get the brooms out either way.
Right, we were able to get, right. Doesn't matter. Look at Denny's the peacemaker here. He's gonna keep us from fighting too much today.
United Nations of Denny.
United Nations of Denny. Anyway, a big sweep for Michigan this weekend. Well, we'll discuss how big. I think there might be some skeptics here. But let's take a look at what happened. Let's start with Friday. Exciting games both nights. And Ohio State definitely came out all guns blazing. But Yosias Arena, Red Berenson looking for his team to pull out of a 3-game losing streak, the 1 game to Michigan State at the Joe, and the 2 in Oxford. So right off the bat, Ohio State with a great 2-on-1 opportunity. And Sean Hunwick came up big all series long, Denny.
Big night and start of the weekend. 33 saves on the night, and he comes with the first star. It's a bit of foreshadowing for things to come for the rest of the weekend.
Yes, Sean Hunwick of short stature, but of large body in the goal net anyhow. Here's Matt Rust with a breakaway opportunity. Hits a crossbar. Will anyone score for Michigan on a breakaway ever? Let's move on to the second period now. Still no score, but Michigan would strike first. And who else would it be, Peter Saul, but Scooter Vaughn?
Scooter Vaughn, the 10-goal scorer, the most recent 10-goal scorer on this Michigan hockey team. It's easy to see what happens on replay, as it always is. A neutral zone turnover. Neutral zone turnovers are killer. Luke Glendenning this time with the read at the center ice line. Gives a quick little pass to Scooter Vaughn, and Scooter Vaughn roofs it. A water bottle popper.
Almost. Cal Heater missing with the glove there. Midway, 1-0 Michigan midway through the first period, and 3 great chances here. Langles with a chance, Hagelin with a chance, Brown with a chance, and Shane Sims saved a goal for the Buckeyes right there. But Ohio State strikes back. Denny, maybe a soft goal from Hunwick?
Yeah, I mean, you could see this coming. The top line for Ohio State. You got a 3-on-2 little break going on, and the top scorer for the Buckeyes with Albert with 32 points on the season, and Soma with 16 goals in the season, making things happen.
And a bit of a weak back check there by Carl Hagelin.
Yeah, something very strange to see. Right at the start of the third period, though, Chad Langlis with a tremendous defensive play. John Albert, again, with an open net, and he lifts the stick, keeping the game tied at 1 apiece. Take another look. There's the lift stick. It wasn't just a whiff. Chad Langlis saved a goal there for the Wolverines one more time from a different angle. That's a sure goal.
Beautiful back check. We've seen this Friday, and we saw it Saturday night also.
Right, and talk about momentum swings. Just a minute later, Chris Brown beats Cal Heater, top shelf, 2-1 Michigan, and that new first line's working out pretty well for the Wolverines.
Yeah, Louis Caparuso, Carl Hagelin, Chris Brown, a new thing that Red Berenson's trying here. And you see a great breakout. Looks like perfect chemistry so far. They just know where each other are. Chris Brown, a bit of a weak goal given up there by Carl Heater. But the Michigan Wolverines first line will take that either way.
So Michigan 2-1 here in the third period, and just 5 minutes later, it's that same line striking again. Perhaps a little bit of chemistry here between Carl Hagelin, not even looking, finding Louis Caparuso. Upon further review, there was a little tip there, Denny, but...
Was that good luck, or is that just a good pass? He gets hit, watch it get hit here, he almost gets catapulted into the pass. Does he have that no-look sixth sense, or did he just get hit into it? That's up for grabs, but a beautiful shot. Wasn't quite as beautiful as it seems. It was tipped in, like you said.
So 3-1 Michigan, the worst lead in all of hockey, a 2-goal lead, and Sean Hunwick standing tall for the Wolverines despite his lack of height. But Ohio State did get on the board here late in the third period. Right there, that's the first line for Ohio State. Once again, Peter Boyd finishes this one off. And take another look, a great deke by Boyd. Not much Hunwick could do there. Defense broke down a little bit, but you know what? It didn't matter. That's all Ohio State had on Friday for the Wolverines. Sean Hunwick picks up the save. Hugs for the goaltender. The win. And that is Friday for you. Let's take a look at the Friday box. So Michigan outshot in this game severely. And again, this is a disturbing trend that we've seen lately, is opponents outshooting Michigan. You can take a look right there. 33 saves by Sean Hunwick. Only 6 penalty minutes for the Wolverines, which is great. Same for Ohio State. Glendenning, 2 assists. And Caparuso, he's at 9 now. Maybe he'll get to double digits sometime this season. But it was really Louis and Hunwick stepping up big for the Wolverines. But Peter, let's talk about the first thing, that Carl Hagelin's back check, or lack thereof, a little bit disturbing. It wasn't really his responsibility necessarily to pick up that guy who ended up scoring. But He kind of let him just, weasel his way towards the crease there.
We are hard on Carl Hagen because he plays so well so often.
Right.
At this time, it was a momentary lapse. Still, though, I don't think you can go too hard on him. He's normally the hardest back checker on this team, the hardest back checker in all of college hockey. He made a bit of a mistake there. It did lead to an Ohio State goal, but it wasn't a backbreaker by any means.
Well, and you were mentioning Kevin Lynch did back check particularly well this weekend.
Yeah, on Saturday night. We're talking about
okay.
Right. Well, we'll get to that in a moment. But fourth line really stepping up, and if this team wants to move further on into the playoffs and CCHA playoffs down the stretch, they're going to need more contribution than the top line that we've got shuffled up now with Cap, Russo, Brown, and Hagelin. Right. We need more than that, and with back checking, giving energy from players like Lynch is where we're really going to need that and going to be able to thrive. Well,
what about just a general, especially on Friday, but also we saw it on Saturday too, Peter? The passing was not crisp. The puck movement was not great. And again, this is nitpicking. They won. They swept Ohio State, but Ohio State's not a great team.
No.
And some of those mistakes they kind of made up with because they are more talented. But those are the same mistakes that bit them in Oxford last weekend, or 2 weekends ago.
And yeah, it was the same story. The puck movement wasn't that crisp. And then still at the same time, they're still waiting for the perfect pass, like we mentioned all season long, instead of just getting the puck on net and seeing what happens. And they were trying to make that perfect pass, and they couldn't even make the most basic passes. And it was kind of a mismatch in the offensive zone.
Friday night was definitely they had a sluggish start, and throughout most of the game, even we talked about this after the game that yes, they won, but they won. That's all there was to it. There was no flash. They got a couple nice goals, but there wasn't really a whole lot to it.
Right. Well, and Peter,
yeah.
Speaking of that bad puck movement, I think you have something to show us.
Yeah, let's roll that tape. Let's see that.
Show and tell here on Overtime.
Let's roll that tape, the offensive zone, and this is in the second period of that Friday night game. It's the Chris Brown goal. Now, this is a new first line. Rather, this is Saturday night's game, excuse me. This is a new first line. Louis Caparuso, Carl Hagen, Chris Brown. But look at the Michigan player in the corner. He draws the attention of 3 Ohio State Buckeyes. That leaves 2 Ohio State Buckeyes in the center of the ice to cover 3 Wolverines. And look at the forecheck. It's always been a huge part of Red Berenson's teams. 2 forecheckers there. They end up forcing a turnover right here behind the net. The puck ended up getting at Carl Hagen in a bit here. And Carl Hagen, the offensive genius he is, look at this. You'll see Chris Brown storming down the slot. Carl Hagen's looking at the blue line right now, but he manages to spy Chris Brown in the corner of his eye. He manages to thread an amazing pass between 3 pairs of skates. Chris Brown tips it in right there, and we'll see that in these Saturday night highlights.
That shows how much attention that Hagelin draws. 4 sets of eyes on him, with him looking, like you said, at the blue line and able to make a nice drop pass right off the Brown in the slot.
Right, so that was an example of great puck movement. But that wasn't, seen real often. That's one of the first cross-ice goals, pass goals we've seen in a long time. So that's one goal for Michigan. Let's take a look and see how many more they got on Saturday night. Let's take a look at what happened at Yost. So Michigan looking for the sweep. Again, looking for 2 wins in a row. Build a new little win streak right there. Sean Hudwick picks up right where he left off on Friday. A big stop in the early going. But Cal Heater showed up as well. A series of saves right here, and it would eventually lead to him being named the first star in this game. Well, we already mentioned that they did sweep the series, so that's odd. You rarely see a guy from the losing team end up being first star. Whole bunch of great saves right there for Cal Heater. But midway through the first period, Michigan would strike first. A.J. Treyas and the underclassmen make it 1-0 Blue Beard.
Yeah, the underclassmen, A.J. Treyas, Luke Glendenning, and Luke Moffat. Excuse me, not Luke Moffat. Yes, Luke Moffat, there he is, the backhander in the top corner. Luke Moffat, excuse me, a beautiful goal for that line.
And just 30 seconds later, Luke Glendenning looking to make it 2-0 Michigan and hits the post right there. Even after video review, it did not cross the line. Score still 1-0 Michigan. A frantic first period continued for Michigan. Here's Brandon Berlin just trying to stay on his feet really right there. Couldn't get past Cal Heater. So let's move on to the second period now. 1-0 at the end of the first, and Michigan gets that second goal they've been looking for. Carl Hagelin finds Chris Brown. That's a different angle of that same goal we just broke down for you. 2-0 Michigan in the second period. Things looking really, really well. And then later in the period, Michigan looking to start off a power play on the right note, but forget about it. Corey Snyder says, don't even think about a power play. I'm having this Michigan lead. 2-1, and a bad face-off really is what led to this, Denny.
This really shows how important face-offs are. A weak face-off win by Wohlberg. Not able to get it back to Berlin, who pinches in, try to get the puck. He loses the puck. Maffei not able to get back. Neither is Berlin, and a beautiful backhand deke score by Schneider.
So with time running out, Sean Hunwick would stand on his head once again. A great save right here, Peter, and then a little bit of extracurricular activity for the Wolverines there.
Yeah, good rivalry between these teams on the ice, too. Definitely got very chippy towards the end of this game. And Chad Langless, speaking of all players, normally a pretty calm guy. We saw him in a lot of action. Yeah, Sean Hunwick shooting the helmet over to the Ohio State penalty box.
Not as good as the orange ball. Here's another chance for the Wolverines. Chad Langless can't take advantage any. He did the opposite.
Stopped somebody. On Friday night, stopped an open net. Also Saturday night, beautiful back check, tied up the opposite player on a 2-on-1. This time he gets a bit of his own medicine.
And on to the third period. And now guys, if you're gonna do the Blues Brothers, can you put something into it?
This is an Ohio State fan, I think. I think he likes to dance.
He has no friends either way.
Yeah, that's why I think he's an Ohio State fan.
He did not get the all-in for Michigan memo, apparently. And this memo has been circulating for 2 or 3 years, yes. Anyway, back to the game. Keep an eye on Chris Brown right here. He boards an Ohio State defenseman. That was just at the top of your screen. He doesn't like the call. He also won't like that he doesn't get to play on Friday against Western because he will be suspended for 1 game for that boarding call. But really this weekend, Peter, all about the goalies. Cal Heater, heating up, ice, cold. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. Well, he's the #1 star. He's played in he started every Ohio State game this season. A .919 save percentage from the junior out of St. Louis, Missouri. He had one heck of a series, and he's one of the big reasons why Ohio State had only 1-goal losses each night.
He's really kept them in the game, and same thing to be said for Sean Hunwick.
Yeah, just 2 great performances. Check out here this beautiful toe save. Barely gets anything on it. Just gets the blade only on it, and this 5-minute penalty that they had to kill off because of the Brown game misconduct. I mean, take another look. Look, he barely gets the toe on it, not even looking at all. Another big save here, a chance in the slot. Albert to Soma, and Soma is glove save and a beauty by Sean Hunwick.
Yeah, with 1 minute left here in the empty net, Ohio State.
One of his 22 saves on the night, leading to his 12th win of the season, Sean Hunwick.
And you know, he's led the CCHA in save percentage for a long time now, and this weekend didn't change that at all. Another excellent weekend from Sean Hunwick.
Yeah, well, let's take a look. Well, here you see Red shaking hands there with the Buckeyes. I don't know if you shake. I guess you have to shake their hands. Says no choice. Let's take a look at the stats from Saturday. The Saturday box score, and you see Moffitt and Brown scoring for the Wolverines. Those are just the 2 goals there, but over 5 on the power play, and the 23 penalty minutes. Now that's exaggerated because of the Brown game misconduct. Hagelin with an assist. He has a 2-game point streak. In those 3 games that Michigan lost, Hagelin no points. That broke his point streak. Now he's had points in the last 2 games. Perhaps an opponent's key to the game. Don't let Carl Hagelin get any points. Hunwick 22 saves on 23 chances, and Cal Heater 30 saves on 32 chances. So the Saturday game, while the score was closer, I mean, both ended 1-goal leads, but no 2-goal leads for Michigan on Saturday. The fact that they tilt that shot balance, does that make you feel a little bit better about Saturday's effort, or make you a little bit more nervous because Hunwick got to make a lot of really good saves down the stretch?
A lot of lucky saves. You know, we saw Denny that broke down that one shot where Sean Hunwick was looking the other way, and he managed to get the skate of his blade, or the blade of his skate.
The skate of his blade, correct?
He saved the puck, and that saved the game, and it was like that all night long for the Wolverines. Sean Hunwick, better lucky than good. We discuss it every week. You know what? Who cares about technical abilities anymore? He just gets the job done.
Often when it comes to shots on goal, it's not necessarily the number of shots on goal. It's maybe the opportunities or the quality scoring chances, and where we saw a couple times ridiculous saves that were needed by Hunwick to keep this game for Michigan. Whereas Heater, yes, he had some good saves, but maybe they're more routine. A lot of them just shots from the point or something like that.
Right.
I mean, Hunwick had to make a lot of big saves on top of his 22.
Right, Ohio State, 7 less shots on goal, but it seemed like scoring chances were definitely even. And if you think about the last 5-10 minutes of that third period,
and that's where the pressure's really on, anyways.
Right. Perhaps even tilted a little bit to Ohio State's advantage. The penalty kill, though, Peter, did do very well, especially killing off that Brown 5-minute major with a 1-goal lead. They had to be perfect there.